endorse Cap+Trade. David Price has already voted for the Cap+Trade legislation that's gone through the House of Representatives. You know Barack Obama's little gimmick a couple weeks ago about opening offshore drilling in Virginia, opening up some more areas in the Gulf of Mexico, reworking some areas that are drilling up in Alaska, was a gimmick to bring in weak-minded Republicans because he's going to try and get the Cap+Trade bill for the Senate. Senator Inhofe has already indicated it's dead at this moment, but you know they're going to try for it. Cap+Trade is an economic disaster, particularly when it doesn't include India and China, the two countries we're most in competition with when it comes to private sector job creation and manufacturing, and the importance of manufacturing creating wealth in the country. The other side, which is rarely talked about, is the side of trade, the trade side. And there's a massive moral hazard associated with the trade side of this bill, because it's opened up a huge pool, tens of billions of dollars, and trillions eventually, of money that will be washed around the financial system. And that is a buy-off scheme to get the financial system involved in the Cap+Trade scheme to begin with. You know, Al Gore and George Soros have already brought in quite directly into the potential for this to happen. They're so confident that Cap+Trade is going to pass. They're already involved in the private sector aspects that will benefit hugely from the trade side of Cap+Trade. We already have trade credits, carbon credits being traded in the European Union as a result of the Kyoto Protocol, which was passed in the 1990s. It's not a good thing. Now, our energy policy. A little common sense here. We need to reduce our dependence on imported fossil fuels from across the world, including the Middle East and those countries that are enemies. We have, as a result of the power of the environmental left over the past 40 years, put away great areas of exploration within our own borders and continental shelf that clearly hold vast riches of energy products for us. The idea that America or the world is going to move off of fossil fuels to rev the engine of economic activity anytime soon, I think is fanciful. Some would say that peak oil is the basis on which we should move away. Peak oil I don't buy into because we've shut off so many areas of our country for exploration. It's hard to know exactly what peak oil means. We know what peak oil might mean in the Middle East because we've explored it so directly. But when we look at the natural gas deposits we have in the United States, in the southern regions or southeastern regions, when we think of the coal potential in the Rocky Mountains, when we think of the offshore oil opportunities off the Atlantic coast, these things have been pushed aside, put out of play as the power of the environmental left and the weakness of the Democrats in Congress over the years, and some Republicans. So we need to refocus on energy policy that makes us more independent. I don't think we'll ever be independent as it properly means, because I don't think we have the resources right here to support the economic activity of the United States, let alone the world. But we can certainly become more independent than we are today. And while we're doing this, without government involvement or coercion, we should be moving towards new sources of energy, allowing our private sector to move forward on creating new areas and new technologies that will help us at some point in the future move to a new source of energy. I don't know what that is, and I doubt any people in the room do. We have thoughts of what it could be. Maybe it's hydrogen. I don't know. Maybe it's strictly natural gas. Maybe it's some sort of biofuel. But right now, we're not there. We're not going to be there for a while. The idea of using our food supply as our energy supply that has been put forth over the past 10 years with respect to our corn crops in Iowa, I think that's just politics, because Iowa is the first state on the presidential calendar for caucuses. And that's a giveaway. That's political calculus that doesn't help our energy sector. So it's pretty common sense. We'll do all we can to make sure we're independent in the United States.